What's up, guys? Well, as you guys can see, I'm back in Arizona, but just for a short time. I came home for a couple of weeks. Now I'm heading back out to see Chris. Probably by the time this video comes up, I'll be either heading out that way or getting ready to back to Switzerland to see Chris. So I know Chris is watching, so hi, honey. So today I'm heading out, guys, to the desert, which is a completely different atmosphere than what we guys saw in the last video. I was in Switzerland in -10 degrees Celsius. So today is actually about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So like, what is that, 21 degrees or so Celsius? Completely different. I'm in short sleeves and it's kind of hot actually. I'm hiking around, but yeah, completely different. So today, guys, I'm taking you guys out to do a focus stack video. I want to show you guys how I focus stack from in the field, take you guys back into post-processing, show you guys how I put it all together. So, all right, let's go hiking. Alright guys, well the sun's not quite set yet, so I'm not ready to take the photo, but what I want to do is kind of talk about what I'm going to do as far as focus, where my focus points are going to be, my settings and stuff like that. So I'm set up right now. I am at f8. The reason why I am focus stacking is because I got this cactus in the foreground, maybe, you know, 1.5 to 2 feet away from my lens. There's no possible way, no matter how small the aperture, I don't care if you're at f22, that's just not enough depth of field where you're going to get the front of that cactus skeleton all the way to the back of the mountains there. There's no way all of that's going to be in focus. On top of that, even if you could do that, if you go down to like f18 or f22, your image is going to start to lose sharpness. The reason why that is because of what's called diffraction. If you're letting the light in at f22, which, you know, your aperture is really small, you're going to get some diffraction, and what's going to happen is the edges are going to get really soft. The overall image is going to get soft the smaller that goes, so it's really not a good idea. I never shoot lower than f16, so f18, f20, f22 I don't ever mess with. So anyway, all right, so what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to show you guys where I'm going to focus. I'm going to place about 4 focus points on this cactus skeleton and on the background there to make sure that I have several focus points, everything's in focus, and then I can blend them again later. So I'll show you right here. So I'm going to focus right here. I'm going to focus here on this point there, one right there, and then one on the background. I'm going to make sure I have that, so that's going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to make sure I have at least 4 points where I focus at. That way I've got 2 in the foreground, 1 in the midground, and 1 in the very background. Now, that way I have everything in focus. I'm going to blend it later on in Photoshop. So I'm going to wait for this sun to set, and when the light kind of evens out, when I'm starting to get that color in the sky, I'm going to take my shots, and then we're going to go ahead and jump on the computer and take it from there. Alright guys, so now we are back on the computer here. I got my 4 images. And as you can see, as I go through each one, the little bit of the zoom effect that happens whenever you shift the focus. So you can see here how it zooms in just a little bit. That's just a product of, you know, when you move your focus point. Now, if you look at this first one here, you can see it's really sharp right here in the front on this first log, but as it kind of moves out right around here on this little knot on this log, you can see where it starts to kind of get a little fuzzy. So that's where the second one comes in, and you can see here that now that's really sharp. And then the third one is for this midground here, for all this cactus back in here, but the background is still just a little bit out of focus. I mean, it's pretty sharp, but you can see in this fourth one it's extremely sharp there. You can see how sharp that is. So we're going to use all 4 of these. And what I did was I just made an adjustment. All my adjustments I made just on this very first image here. Did a little bit of white balance, just brought down the highlights quite a bit, a little bit of clarity, a little bit of dehaze, much into that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold shift and select all 3 or all 4 of these. And over here on the right where it says sync, I'm going to go ahead and sync them all, and I've already done this, so I'll make sure everything is synced. Then once you're done with that, you just, as long as they're all still highlighted, go ahead and right click, come up to edit in, and come down to open as layers in Photoshop. Alright, so now we're in Photoshop. You got your layers over here with all of your images. And you got the one with the focus up here. You want that up on top, and then you want to obviously have them in a row down below you here. So What we're going to do now is we're going to make sure, we're going to hold shift again and make sure they're all highlighted. And we're going to come up here to image. We're going to come up here to edit, come down to auto align layers. And I just leave it on auto. I don't touch anything else. And what this is going to do is make sure that everything, you know, the pixels are going to pull and push and stretch, and just make sure that they're all lined up exactly the way we want it. That way it'll all be lined up so there's no kind of weird ghosting or anything like that. All right, so you guys can see now here, this little edge, that's what happens when they're stretching all the pixels and they're shifting and doing everything. So this is why I tell you guys to shoot wider than you need to. That way when this happens, we can crop in a little bit. So that's what we're going to do now, but I'll wait to do that because what I want to do now is I'm going to take these and I'm going to drag them down and I'm going to create copies of each one. The reason why I do that, and I'm going to turn off all the layers because I don't need them right now and I may not need them at all. What happens is when Photoshop blends all this together to make sure that everything's in focus, sometimes it will mess up, sometimes it gets confused. Now with this scene here, I don't think we're going to have a problem, but I've had before, especially with cactus, with long grass, with something in the background, it'll get really blurry and I have to go and actually manually blend it together. I don't think that's going to happen here, but I always create copies just in case. So now that that's all done, what I'm going to come up here and do now is edit, auto blend layers. Now I'm going to stack images. You can see here where it shows the 3 images and stacked here with a little bit of blurry. That's the focus stack. So that's what we're going to do here. So everything's sharp. Keep these all checked and just hit OK. Let Photoshop work its magic here and we'll see how well it did once it's done. All right, now that that's all done, let's zoom in here and see how Photoshop did. So we're gonna come down here, so we got focused, everything looks sharp, nothing weird, sharp there. Cactus is nice and sharp. I am in at 100% here, and yeah, everything looks really nice. The mountains look really nice and sharp. You guys know how much I love those blue skies, so of course not a cloud in the sky when I go to shoot a tutorial, it figures. All right, yeah, look at this. It looks amazing, guys. This is everything is absolutely sharp throughout the frame, front to back. Yeah, guys, everything looks good. I think that's going to be fine. So what I would do now, because I want to get rid of this edging, I'm just going to take out the crop tool, and I think I want to make this a, I don't know if I want to do the original or make it a 5x4, or a 4x5. Let's try that. I think I'm going to like that a little bit. Cut out a lot of this sky. I think that's good. I think I like that composition best. 4x5 good, because there's nothing up here that really adds to anything. You know, it's just a blue sky. So kind of get rid of most of that and hit OK. I think that's going to be it. So now what I'll do is just go through and finish up my editing. I'll probably do some dodging and burning to really bring out some of this, this light and shadow down here in the foreground. And maybe put an Orton effect or something on here. So yeah, all right, I'll show you guys the final product right now. There it is. And thank you guys so much for watching. This is the process I always go through. You know, 3-4 images maybe at the most when shooting. I was shooting at about 14mm. So yeah, that's it, guys. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, thanks. Bye.